Safi via Discord. Safi from the Lore Together podcast. Great show about lore. They just did one on Oblivion. So,
Hi, Safi.
what do you think the strengths are in the worlds of Fallout and Elder Scrolls that help create these games?
Ooh, that's a question that is not a lightning round question. Listen, again, like I think we alluded to this earlier. Like when you look at like there's a lot of corporate buzz speaky words, and one of them is IP. But when you're looking at great IP, intellectual property, it really to me revolves around story, which is the setting and the characters that exist within that setting. If those are sound and solid, you can make a great game. If they're too tropey or too hackneyed, you're gonna forget about them, and you may finish the game or not, but it won't stick. So when I first got into game development, I called myself a buffet eater of games. Like I very rarely finished games. I would play a ton of games and almost never finish them. And I literally gave thought to that as to why, because I'm a game maker, and why don't I finish so many of these games? And the games that I finished did two things well to me. And again, everybody has different answers to this based on your psychographic profile and what you like and what you're playing games for. But for me, it was number one. Well, not number one, number two, really. But that one of the machines is like introduce new and engaging mechanics throughout the entirety of the game. It didn't just give them to me in the first 2 hours and then ramp difficulty. Right? That's boring to me. When you give me all the game mechanics and then you're just throwing harder monsters at me, that won't engage me very long. I'll get bored with that and go to another game where I'm learning new mechanics, right? And then bouncing out of the game. So an example for that was Half-Life 2. The best gun in Half-Life 2 is given to you in the last level of the game, right? The gravity gun, right? But it was so amazing that every level I got some new tool to put in my toolbox to engage that world in. If anyone hasn't played Half-Life 2, you should put that in your book club. It's fucking great. I don't know if it holds up today, but dear Lord.
It holds up.
It holds up. Yeah, it's one of those games that I think has been so copied over the years. Like sometimes you listen to old music, like I don't understand why Led Zeppelin was great or something. It's because they were the first to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And everything since then had been sort of copies. Anyways, the second reason and the more important reason was the story. So I would overlook that rule number one or bad gameplay or all sorts of other things if I was very engaged in the story and wanted to see what happened. Right. So for me, those are the number one strengths. It wasn't just the systems and all the things that you do within those games. It was the fact that you were compelled to complete the narrative, and sometimes that narrative is in your head, right? Sometimes it's a story you're telling yourself as you're playing the game about the adventure your personal character is going on. So, anyways, that is the best answer I can give. It's the story in the lore, frankly.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.